They left home for love, but walked straight into the forest's darkest secret. In the heart of Makumbai village, under the fading red-gold glow of the African sunset, 3 friends, Aisha, Tari and Lindai, slipped out of their homes. They told their mothers they were going to the market, but the small makeup kits in their handbags and the perfume clinging to their skin said otherwise. They were going to meet their boyfriends. The road was dusty, lined with thorn trees, and silent except for the sound of their sandals crunching on gravel. It was a Thursday, a quiet day in Makumbai, when most men were still out in the fields or tending goats. But the girls walked with excitement in their steps, whispering secrets and laughing softly. Their boyfriends, city boys from Mutara, had promised to take them to a music show in town. No one from the village had ever been to such a place. Lights, music and cold drinks that fizzed on your tongue. It was too tempting to resist. They met the boys at the edge of the forest. The men were leaning on a shiny black pickup truck. The paint gleamed, but the windows were tinted so dark, you couldn't see inside. "Come, beauties," said Joel, the tallest of the 3 men, flashing a gold-toothed smile. "We have a long ride ahead." The girls giggled and climbed in. The leather seats smelled faintly of something metallic, like coins or blood. Aisha hesitated for a second, but Tari nudged her playfully. "You're acting like a scared goat," Tari whispered. "Relax. We're going to have fun." The truck rumbled to life and Joel took the wheel. They drove deeper into the forest instead of toward the town. "Is this the shortcut?" Lindai asked, frowning. Joel laughed without turning his head. "The main road is too busy. This way is faster." But as the sun dipped lower, the forest grew darker. Shadows stretched long and thin, curling over the road. The air smelled damp and the sound of insects filled the silence. After nearly an hour, the road narrowed into a single dirt track. The girls glanced at each other nervously. Even the joking Tari had fallen silent. Then Aisha noticed something in the back of the truck. Behind a black tarp lay a wooden box the size of a coffin. She reached out to lift the edge, but one of the other men, broad-shouldered, with eyes like wet stones, snapped at her. "Don't touch that." The truck stopped at a clearing surrounded by giant baobab trees. In the center stood an old hut made from mud and rotting wood. The men got out first, speaking in low voices. One of them took out a bunch of keys. "Where are we?" Lindai asked. "Somewhere you'll never forget," Joel said. The girls stepped out, their sandals sinking into the damp earth. There was no music, no lights, only the heavy stillness of the forest. Suddenly, a sharp cry rang out from inside the hut, like a goat in pain. Then silence. Aisha's heart pounded. "I think we should go back," she said. Joel turned to her slowly. "You'll go back when we're finished." The men opened the hut. The smell hit them first, something rotten mixed with smoke. Inside, cages lined the walls. Not for animals but for people. Small, cramped, barely big enough for a child to stand in. In one cage, a young boy stared at them with wide, terrified eyes. "What is this?" Tari whispered. Joel smiled. "Business." Before the girls could react, one of the men pulled out a long, coiled rope. "You 3 are perfect," he said. The girls were grabbed roughly and pushed toward the hut. Panic surged. They kicked, screamed, and tried to run, but the men were too strong. In the struggle, Aisha's handbag fell, spilling her small mirror onto the ground. Joel froze when he saw it. The mirror's surface shimmered strangely in the dim light. A faint blue glow pulsed inside it. Joel stepped back, muttering in a language the girls didn't understand. Aisha seized the moment. She picked up the mirror and shouted a name, her grandmother's name, as if calling for help. The air around them rippled, and a sudden wind howled through the clearing. From between the baobab trees, a woman appeared. Her skin was pale as bone and her eyes burned like coals. She was Nyambi, the spirit keeper of the Makumbai forest. "You brought them here," the spirit said to the men, her voice echoing like distant thunder. Joel dropped to his knees, trembling. "Forgive us, Mother of Shadows. We didn't know." "Lies," Nyambi hissed. "You have traded children for many moons. But tonight your debt is paid." The wind roared louder. The cages burst open, freeing the children inside. The men screamed as black tendrils of shadow coiled around their necks, dragging them into the darkness between the trees. One by one, their voices were swallowed by the forest. When the wind died, the clearing was silent again. The spirit turned to the girls. "You were marked by your grandmother's blessing," she told Aisha. "The mirror is a seal of my protection. Never walk with strangers, for the forest does not save twice." The girls nodded, trembling. Nyambi vanished into mist. The path to the village seemed to appear out of nowhere. Without speaking they began to walk. By the time they reached Macumbi, the night sky was thick with stars. Mothers came running, crying and hugging their daughters. But when Aisha told her grandmother what had happened, the old woman only smiled. "There's a reason I never stopped you from leaving," she said quietly. "Some lessons must be learned in the dark." The next morning, news spread that 3 men from Mutara had been found in the forest, alive but unable to speak or walk. Their eyes were wide and empty, as if they'd seen something that had stolen their souls. The girls never told anyone the full story. But whenever they passed the edge of the forest, they swore they could hear a whisper, "The forest does not save twice."